One Sunday morning, a teacher entered her classroom and was taken aback when she saw the word manhood discreetly scribbled on the blackboard. She quickly scanned the room, trying to identify the mischievous student behind it. Seeing no guilty expressions, she wiped the word off and proceeded with her lesson. The next day, to her surprise, she was greeted with the word manhood written again, this time noticeably larger. Once more, she looked for any telltale signs among her students, but found none. She sighed, erased the word, and continued with her day's agenda. This became a daily ritual. Each day, she'd find the same word, but each time it was written larger than before. She tried coming in earlier, talking to students, and even discussed it during staff meetings, but the mysterious scribe always managed to write the word before she arrived. Then, one fateful morning, she entered the classroom, bracing herself for the ever-growing word. However, instead of the expected, she found a different message. The more you rub it, the bigger it gets. Dr. Johnson was enjoying a quiet tea break with his wife when his phone suddenly buzzed. Picking it up, he heard the excited voice of his friend on the other end. "Hey, there's 3 of us here with a bottle of 18-year-old whiskey. Fancy joining, Dr. Johnson?" Not one to pass up such an offer, Dr. Johnson eagerly replied, "Count me in. I'll be right there." Setting his cup down, he saw his wife's curious eyes on him. She inquired, "What was that all about?" Fitting a serious demeanor, Dr. Johnson said, "3 doctors have reached 18 years. I also have to go immediately. She is only 18 years old. Otherwise, she will be finished." One day, Terry was chatting with his buddy at their local bar. He sighed and said, "I don't know what gift to get my wife for her birthday. She already has everything she could possibly want. Moreover, she has the means to purchase anything she desires, so I'm at a loss." His friend thought for a moment before suggesting, "I have a potential solution. What if you create a unique gift certificate that entitles her to 60 minutes of sheer joy in any way she wishes to have it? I bet she would be over the moon." Terry thought it over and decided to follow his friend's suggestion. The very next day at the bar, his friend, eager to know the outcome, asked, "Well, Terry, did you take up my advice?" "Yes, I certainly did," Terry confirmed. His friend, filled with curiosity, asked, "And did she appreciate it?" "Oh, absolutely," Terry responded, a twinkle in his eye. "She was so thrilled that she leapt up, thanked me profusely, gave me a kiss on the forehead, and then dashed out the door, shouting back at me, 'I'll be back in an hour.'" A man enters a bar and notices a jar filled to the brim with $100 bills. Curious, he asks the bartender why there's so much money in the jar. The bartender explains that it's part of a challenge and costs $100 to participate. The challenge consists of 3 tasks. "The first task," explains the bartender, "is to knock out Big Jim over there." He points to a large man sitting at the bar. He's really tall at 6'5" and weighs 551 pounds. The man nods, intrigued. "What's the second task?" he asks. "If you pass the first task," continues the bartender, "you must go outside where you'll find Big Jim's dog. Your task is to remove a tooth from the dog." "And the third task?" the man inquires. "If you manage to pass the second task," says the bartender, "you must go upstairs to the second floor where Big Jim's 85-year-old mother resides. Your task is to make love to her like you've never done before." The man ponders for a moment, then decides to accept the challenge. He places his $100 on the counter and walks over to Big Jim, delivering a swift kick to his private parts, knocking him out cold. With the second task in mind, he leaves the bar to face Big Jim's dog. After a few moments of growling and howling, the man returns to the bar and asks the bartender, "Where's the old woman whose tooth I have to remove?"
A teacher asks her class, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" Little Johnny says, "I want to be a billionaire, going to the most expensive clubs, take the best bitch with me, give her a Ferrari worth over $1 million, an apartment in Hawaii, a mansion in Paris, a jet to travel through Europe, an infinite Visa card, and to make love to her 3 times a day." The teacher, shocked, and not knowing what to do with the bad behavior of the child, decides not to give importance to what he said and then continues the lesson. And you, Susie? The teacher asks. Susie says, I want to be Johnny's bitch.